Well, for anyone who is new to joining our practice group, my name is Alicia. My pronouns are she and her. And I'm practicing with you today on the native lands of the Tunaha, the Spokane, and the Sichuamps tribes, now known as Spokane, Washington. And at the beginning of my classes, I always like to acknowledge that the practice of yoga originated thousands of years ago in ancient India, and has been passed down from teacher to student. So it's important that I thank my teachers who shared their knowledge with me so that I'm able to be here to hold space for you as you might be exploring your own yoga practice. And I also want you to know that anything that I offer are simply invitations. And what's most important to me is that you feel comfortable tuning into your own bodily wisdom and letting that be your primary guide for our time together. So we can start by getting situated in the chair. You might like to pull the skin out and back from each hip. And this might help us feel the sitting bones a little more solidly in the chair. Depending on your proportions, I've chosen to sit up on a folded blanket. If you have longer legs, that might work for you. If you have shorter legs, there's always an option to take a folded blanket under the feet to raise the floor up to you a bit more. You're always also welcome to have your bolster or your blocks under your feet if you need even a bit more height. So feel free to use whatever's going to work for you. If you are able to practice without the support of the chair, you might want to try sitting towards the middle or front of your chair. And if you would like some back support, there's always the option to fold a blanket, take the bolster, and bring something behind your back so that you can still sit towards the front of your chair, but maybe that gives you some extra support behind you. And then let's root down through the feet, being flat on the floor or whatever prop you've chosen, knees roughly stacking over the ankles. And the knees are also roughly in front of the hips, allowing the knees to relax a comfortable distance apart. So from the base of the feet, feeling the feet on the floor, and your bum in the chair, feeling those places of support beneath you, now we can let the spine start to lengthen up from there, all the way through the top of the head. You might notice the sternum start to lift. And if you choose, let's roll the shoulders forward, up towards the ears, and then let the shoulders soften back and down. Coming up towards the head and the neck, you might even experiment with just a really slight tuck of the chin, just enough to lengthen the back of the neck. It also may help bring your head more back in line over your neck and shoulders. And then once you find whatever alignment is right for you today, can you also allow yourself to relax in and settle in here? See if you can find some ease in your alignment. And for today's class, in a moment, I will invite the bell. That will drop us into our centering. This practice will be fully seated in the chair, so we'll start with our centering, then we'll transition to some gentle seated movements, incorporating props as we go. And then lastly, we'll finish up our practice with our seated shavasana, or our integration and relaxation time. So knowing that this is your practice, everything is optional here. Now you have the option, make what best choice fits you today. You can leave the eyes open, you can choose to close them, or maybe you just soften the gaze down. And I'll invite the bell to drop us in. So as we're coming into this practice space together, I like to take a couple moments just in gratitude for the roots of this practice, as I mentioned, coming all the way from ancient India, thousands of years old. And maybe you find some gratitude for the fact that this practice has found its way to you through space and time. And that you have the opportunity to incorporate these practices into your day, into your life, in hopes of maybe cultivating just a bit more resilience. If you choose, you can allow the corners of the mouth to upturn in the beginnings of a smile. Having gratitude for yourself, that you made it to your practice today. And also having gratitude for everyone else who's sharing this time with you. They've also chosen to come back to their practice. And each of us in our own way, we can gain some resilience for ourselves. But that resilience can also ripple out into our communities, making our own little waves of positivity. And take notice of the sensation of that smile on your face. Feeling into the areas of the body that are closer to the smile. So starting around the face and the mouth, jaw. But do you feel little ripples of that smile extending out into other areas of the body? Maybe even lifting the mood a bit. So what do you find is true for you in this moment? As you're exploring the smile, you can also start to ground the body. And we can do this by feeling the sensations of the feet on the floor and also of the bum in the chair. If you find it difficult to feel the sensations, maybe you more are conceptualizing. You're thinking about the concept of your feet on the floor or your bum in the chair. But what if you give the toes a wiggle? Maybe give the bum and hips a wiggle in the chair. Does that help you direct your awareness into those areas and feel them more fully? I'd like to invite in the intention today. May I welcome support. So right away we can tap into that intention by the simple act of feeling where we're in contact with the support beneath us. Really getting curious with a sense of exploration. What kind of sensations are you noticing? And as you start to turn your awareness inward, so we're getting into the body and maybe a little less into the mind. So we're trying to tap into those direct senses and experiences of the body. Maybe there's some judgment that starts to come up. Wondering, am I doing this, quote, right or not? See if you can let all of that go. There's no right or wrong here. You can boil it down to the fact that you're simply sitting and observing. There's nothing else that you have to be doing. And as you've had a few minutes to observe what's going on in your body, maybe you've come across the fact that the body is breathing. Maybe those sensations have come more into your awareness. You can allow each inhale to be a deepening of that internal awareness, tuning into the sensations. And the exhale to be more of a settling, a releasing motion. If you choose, you can place one hand on your belly, just like wiggling the toes or wiggling the bum in the chair. The hand on the belly can help you tune into the sensations of your breath in this moment. See if you can let go of the urge to control the breath. Can you just observe it? Let it come and go at its own pace. If you choose, you can soften through the belly, the heart, throat, jaw and tongue, through the entire inside of the mouth, as well as softening the shoulders away from the ears. Softening through some of these areas of the body, that might open up a little bit more space for the path of the breath in and out through the nostrils, if that's available to you today. Checking in with how your body is feeling, how your mind is feeling. Just kind of getting a baseline for where you're at right now. And everything is welcome. See if you can let go of the judgment. We're just observing the facts. If you'd like, you can release the hand from the belly. Let's take 3 full breaths together. And we'll do a straw breath. So to do this, we inhale through the nose. And then on the exhale, you purse your lips as if you had a straw between the lips. And then you exhale slowly and fully out through that straw. letting the body settle into that full exhale, complete exhale. Let's give it a try. Inhale through the nose. Slowly and completely exhaling through the straw. Let the next inhale arise naturally. After your third exhale, whenever it comes, allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. And then just take notice of changes, if any, in the pattern of your breath. Noticing if the 3 long exhales through the mouth changed anything about your breath, or the quality of the mind or body. Taking your time as you feel ready, you can open the eyes if they were closed or lift the gaze. And take some time to reorient to your space. One of the ways that you can help ground yourself is by taking this time to reorient to your space. It's also a way that we can bring some more safety in for our nervous system, observing where we are in the space, observing what's around us, taking in the basics like the shapes and colors, textures, maybe light and dark. This also lets us move the eyes and head and neck around. And if the rest of the body feels ready to get in on the movements, let's just invite the body to move in any intuitive way that would feel good here. What kind of movement is the body asking for? There's no prescribed way to do this. You're also welcome to close your eyes now or any other time throughout the practice if that's something that feels supportive to you. That can help you direct your awareness inward, letting the body speak to you rather than having to be highly influenced by what I'm doing. I would rather you feel free to make all of these choices for how you're feeling today. Bringing in our original intention of, may I welcome support. So how would these intuitive movements support you right now? Once you feel complete with your own movements, we can go ahead and reset and center, and then maybe grab your strap and have it handy. Right now, we'll just open it up, lay it across the lap for a moment, and we'll start by getting some movement into the neck. So let's find our feet and our sitting bones again. So from our base, we're lengthening the spine up from there, letting the shoulders be soft. So we inhale here and center. On the next exhale, let's tuck the chin first in towards the throat, And then roll the chin towards the chest, any amount. Inhale, rolling the right ear over towards the right shoulder. Exhale, rolling the chin back towards the chest. Inhale, left ear towards the shoulder. And allow yourself to find your own pace. And see if you can allow the pace of your breath to be the guide for the pace of your movement. Let your breath be the leader. If it feels right to stay more than one breath cycle in any one position, maybe you follow that instinct. Next time you have the right ear over towards the right shoulder, maybe you choose to extend the left arm. And then let's just play on this side. You can rotate the entire arm forward and back so that the movement's coming all the way into the shoulder. You can move the arm in space forward and back, up and down. We can extend, flex the wrist, wiggle the fingers, roll the wrist both directions. And then just feel free to get creative. What combination of all of those movements? Maybe you start to bend into the elbow. What combination of movements with the left arm might feel good right now? And when you're ready, let's rotate the arm so the palm is facing back. Bend that left arm at the elbow. Bring the back of the hand towards the small of the back. Let the shoulder soften and settle there. And then let's take 3 full breaths. After your third exhale, whenever it comes, release the left arm from behind the back and then take the right hand to the side of the head to assist it back up to center. On your next exhale, let the chin come towards the chest. And then now we can inhale the left ear towards the left shoulder. Option 2, extend the right arm. So you kind of have an idea now that we've done one side, but also keeping in mind that you may not have a completely symmetrical experience from one side to the other. In fact, it's probably likely that it will be at least slightly different. So honor what the right side needs. Don't let it depend on what you felt on the left side. And as you feel ready, you can rotate that arm so the palm is facing back. Take the back of the hand to the small of the back. Let the shoulder soften down. And then 3 full breaths on this side. After your third exhale, you can release the arm from behind the back. Take that left hand to assist the head back to center. Then let's start to move through the shoulders. Maybe you choose to take the fingertips to the shoulders. Maybe you let the arms be at the sides. If you have the fingertips on the shoulders, you also have the option to bring the elbows towards each other. And then up And let's sync up the breath and movement wherever you're at. Inhaling as you come forward and up with the shoulders. Exhaling as you come back and down. Letting the shoulders be really soft and heavy at the bottom of the exhale. Finding your own pace. Let's do one more. If it feels good, give the arms a little shake out. And then taking the hands in front of you to form kind of a scoop or a bowl with the hands. Let's inhale, scooping the hands up, flipping the tops of the backs of the hands together as you come up, and exhale the fingertips out and down and around. If coming up that high with the arms isn't working good for you, maybe try your scoop out front and then reach out and around rather than up and around. Feel free to make this movement work for you. Linking up the breath with the movement again. Or I should say linking up the movement with the breath rather. Let's do one more. Give the arms a shake out at the bottom. Now let's take the strap into gentle fists, maybe starting about shoulder width distance. Inhale the strap forward and then up, and as the arms come up, let the hands be soft and loose on the strap so that they can widen as you bring the strap behind you. If you're working with a shorter strap, just let go of one side if it's too tight behind you as you bring the arms back. Inhale, back up. Exhale, forward and down. Let's do two more. You can reset your grip each time. Inhaling up. Exhaling back and down. Inhale up. Exhale, forward and down. After your last one, you can shake out the arms. And you can leave your strap here because we'll come back to it. Let's take the hands to the thighs. And if you're not already towards the front of your chair, if that works for you to come towards the front of your chair, that might help with this movement. So with your next inhale, let your pelvis tip forward. Your chest and belly will open forward. You can broaden across the collarbones. Gently pressing the shoulders back and down. The gaze can come up slightly. And then on the exhale, now you tilt the pelvis back, rounding the back towards the back of the chair, pressing out through the shoulder blades and tucking the chin. Inhale, opening forward. Exhale, rounding back. The hands can get involved, maybe sliding towards the hip creases on the inhale. That may help you open through the chest. And then letting the fingertips slide towards the knees to press out through the shoulder blades. Finding your own rhythm. You're setting the pace. And let's do one more round. And meeting back at center. So let's take the strap again into gentle fists. If you have a really long strap like mine, you might even fold it in half. You don't really need all of that extra probably for this. As long as you have enough to take the fists about shoulder width distance or whatever distance feels good once you get your arms up. So let's inhale, forward and up, widening the arms as much as you need to have the arms overhead. And then exhale, let's let the left hand get heavy towards the floor. Reaching up with the right arm, it starts to come along the right side of the head. Press into the left foot, inhaling back up. Now exhaling, letting the right hand get heavy towards the floor. That might start to draw the left arm alongside the head. Press into the right foot, inhale back to center. Let's do 2 more to each side at your own pace. Keeping both feet and both hips secure in the chair. So backing off the side bend if you start to feel unstable. And after your last one, let's release the arms down. Give them another shake out. Grabbing the strap again, let's inhale the arms forward. And now we have in gentle fists again, the palms are facing down. We'll inhale here in center, let the shoulders be soft. On your exhale, rotate the left fist so the palm or the thumb is facing up, and then hug that left arm in along the side of the body as you reach across with the right. Inhale, unwind back to center. Then exhale, rotating the right fist, thumb up, hugging the right arm, and elbow in along the right side of the body as you reach across with the left. Inhale, center. Now find your own rhythm. Check in with the shoulders, the jaw and tongue, letting go of any gripping that you can. You might also check in with the knees and the legs. Sometimes I'll just catch myself gripping through there, and it's not really something that I need to be able to move in this way. So it's something I can let go of. Let's do 1 more to each side. And release the strap. Give the arms a shake out. You can set the strap off to the side now. Let's grab our blocks. And I'll give you a couple of options here. We'll work with a forward fold. But before we do that, let's rotate the torso around. This is another one that you may benefit from being towards the front of your chair. Inhaling as you come back and exhaling as you come forward. And you can always keep in mind that there's no one way, one order that you have to breathe in. This is just an option. So if the opposite works best for you, you can give that a try. Feel free to explore it. When you come through center, let's reverse and go the opposite direction. Noticing any differences side to side. What is your support feeling like as you move here? How is this changing your relationship to the chair and the floor? Once you feel even both directions, Let's meet back at center. So I'm going to offer a forward fold here. So option to keep your legs closer together, bringing your blocks to the outsides of your legs, or option to take your feet and legs wider and bring the blocks, bring the blocks between the legs. You might want to start the blocks on the highest height. You can always adjust them down from there. If you're taking the legs wide, you can still roughly stack the knees over the ankles. Let's start with the hands at the hips. Let the shoulders soften down. We'll inhale, lengthen the spine. And then on the exhale, start to fold forward with the hinge coming from the hips. So the spine is staying long and neutral. And maybe you don't come to your blocks. Maybe you keep the hands on the thighs, you come to forearms. But you have the blocks there if you want to bring the hands down to the blocks. Once you get to where you're going, you can let the head and neck release down last. Maybe nodding the head, yes, shaking it, no. Letting the neck release. Let's take 3 full breaths here. Feeling all that support beneath you. After your third exhale, bring the head and neck back into line with the spine first, and then press through the feet and the hands. Walk yourself back up with a long spine. And then let's take a moment to just reset. Notice how we're feeling. Also, reorient back to our original relationship with gravity, from having possibly the head lower than the heart. So find your breath. Just take a couple moments to notice how you're feeling. And when you're ready, you can heel toe the feet together if you had them wide. You can set your blocks off to the side and your strap off to the side for now. We're going to use our bolster. If you don't have a bolster and you've got that extra blanket, you can also fold that up and stack it up and probably get a similar experience here. So let's lay the bolster down in front of our chair and then turn the body towards the left. So I'm going to take my left hand to the back of the chair for support. And as I'm turning towards the left, I'm going to lower my right knee onto the bolster. So we're turning the left leg out at a 90-degree angle to the front of our chair. So find that left foot on the floor. If the left foot's having a hard time reaching the floor, this is where you can bring a block in and build up the floor that way too. So always have an option for that. And then as it feels good with the front of your right thigh, start to walk that right knee back any amount more. I apologize I have a high window that's shining right on my thigh right now, but hopefully you can see well enough. So you can walk that right knee back any amount, looking for some sensation in the front of the right thigh. Check in with the lower back. You can give the tailbone a little bit of a tuck, so you can kind of imagine that you're pressing forward through that right thigh. So find their bases of support. Find the feeling of the left foot on the floor. You've got your right knee in contact with the prop, your right toes on the floor. You've got support of the chair beneath you, and you also have the hand on the chair. If you choose, you can take the right hand to the right hip. If you're feeling steady here, maybe you choose to bring the right arm forward and up. Let both shoulders be soft. If you're feeling steady here, option to invite in a little bit of a back bend if that feels good for your neck and back. Wherever you're at, let's take 3 full breaths. After your third exhale, let's turn to face front again. You can move your bolster out of the way. Just take a moment to notice how you're feeling from side to side. So we've done some work through the right leg to see if you notice any differences side to side. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. And asking ourselves these questions and engaging with the changing bodily sensations, that helps to keep us grounded in the present moment. So it's not like we're looking for a particular answer, just this practice of neutral and non-judgmental observing is helpful to let our mind rest. Give it something to do. And then as you feel ready, we can turn towards the right and do the other side. So you can bring your bolster back in close. Take your right hand to the back of the chair for support. Turning the right leg out at a 90-degree angle. Right foot flat on the floor or a block as needed. And then walk that left knee back any amount, looking for some sensation in the front of the left thigh this time. Taking care of this side on its own. Maybe it's in a different place than it was on the right. Feeling all these touch points of support beneath us. Tucking the tail a bit. Imagine that you're pressing out through that, pressing forward, I should say, out through that left hip. If you're feeling steady here and you choose, maybe you bring that left arm up, soft shoulders. Option to bring in a little back bend. Wherever you're at, let's take 3 full breaths on this side. And after your third exhale, you can release the arm if it's up. And then let's come to face forward again. You can move the bolster off to the side. Let's get a little more movement into the hips with some hip walking. So as you turn forward again, the feet are facing forward in parallel. Depending on if you're towards the back of your chair or the front, you'll go the opposite direction. So I'm towards the back of my chair. I'm going to start by going forward. So press into one foot, move that same hip forward if you're going forward, one hip at a time. When you get to the front of your chair, then go back. The rest of your body can get in on the movement as it feels right. And let's go ahead and stop towards the middle or front of our chair. And before we move into our relaxation, let's get a little bit of length in the back of the legs. So go ahead and grab one of your blocks. And this might be a little bit tricky to get it going, but take your strap around your block and then set your block down on its lowest height on the floor. Root down through your left foot and then put your right foot on the block. So taking your strap into both hands. Also, I want to show you real quick, if you're working with arthritis or something, maybe gripping the strap like that isn't going to work for you. Go ahead and thread your strap through the ring, and then you have the option to bring the strap around your wrists or over inside your thumbs, and you can tighten it down as you'd like. So just know that that option is available. So now let's extend the right leg with our foot on the block. So now we have some feedback here of the support of the block beneath the foot. We're at least keeping a micro bend in that right knee, so we're not locking it out. And you can inhale, lengthen the spine up. On your exhale, start to hinge forward any amount towards that right leg, keeping that micro bend in the knee so you're not hyperextending it back, using the support of the strap. Soft shoulders, 3 full breaths here. After your third exhale, press into the left foot as you hinge back up and bring the right foot back in. We can release the right foot, move the block over to the left. Before we get into really doing the left side, let's also get some ankle rolls on the right. One direction, other direction. Give the foot a point and flex a few times. If it doesn't cramp up your foot, you can invite in some toe curls. And just really let that right hip go. What kind of other movement would you like for the right leg before we switch to the left? Give it a shake out. Now root down through the right foot. Bring your block and strap beneath the left foot. Get a grip on your strap and then extend that left leg now. Watching that we're not hyperextending that left knee, keeping a micro bend at least. Feel the sitting bones in the chair, the right foot on the floor. Lengthen the spine up from there. And then on your exhale, hinge forward towards that right leg, any amount. Soft shoulders. 3 full breaths here. After your third exhale, press through the right foot as you hinge back up. Bringing the left leg back in, releasing the foot down. Let's roll the left ankle one direction, other direction. Point and flex. Option for toe curl and any other exploration that might feel good through the left hip and leg, ankle, foot. And we're ready to set up for our Shavasana. So now that we have extra props on hand, there are a lot of options available to you. If you're used to taking your relaxation on the floor, feel free to do that. I'm going to cue the relaxation from the chair so that if you don't want to make it down to the floor, you don't need to. First, let's grab our extra blanket and we can make a roll to support the back of the neck. We're welcoming support with this practice. So let's take your blanket, open it wide, fold it in half the long direction, and then roll it down. Taking the blanket behind the back of the neck. Depending on the length of your blanket, maybe you cross it in front first, or just tuck it straight under the armpits. You might have to re-situate this because I'm going to give you some other options that your blanket may come untucked. So I'm going to show an option to bring the feet up onto blocks. Maybe you take your bolster to your lap, place to rest your hands. And you can scoot your bum back in the chair, use the support of the backrest. You can even take your chair up against a wall and lean your head and shoulders back into the wall. So use all these resources that you have on hand. See if you can find a position where you can find some ease and comfort. Options to leave the eyes open, close them, or soften the gaze down. Reconnecting to the natural rhythm of the breath. Letting it find its own pace. Letting go of controlling it. And then allowing each inhale to take your awareness deeper inward. And each exhale to be the settling, releasing into and around the support. Letting all your props hold you. And feel free as you start to settle in, maybe you need to make some adjustments. Maybe you're regretting one of the choices you made. Feel free to explore. Let's check in with a little body scan. Just letting our awareness travel through the sensations of the body. As each area of the body is named, you can imagine it releasing and letting go into that support. Starting with feeling into the feet, ankles, lower legs, knees, upper legs, hips and bum, belly, chest, front of the shoulders, lower back, middle back, and upper back. Tops of the shoulders, upper arms, elbows, lower arms, wrists and hands, neck, jaw, cheeks, eyes, ears, back of the head, forehead, and top of the head. Letting go any amount more with each exhale, from the top of your head all the way to the tips of the toes. Allowing yourself to receive this support. Taking your time, starting to bring some small movements back into the body. Perhaps starting out at the fingers and toes, wrists and ankles, and then making your way inward towards some larger movements. Waking the body up in a way that feels supportive for you in this moment. You can open the eyes if they were closed or lift the gaze. And if you'd like to join me to close, you can rest one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. This closing is from my teacher, Anna Guest Jelly of Curvy Yoga. May I greet my body with gentleness. May I soften when life invites me to harden. May I listen to my intuition with wisdom and trust it with ease. And may I appreciate my body a little more in this moment, just as it is. And then we can bring the hands together in front of the heart. Let's take one breath together. Inhale and exhale. Thank you so much for choosing to share your time and your practice with me today.